Usually, every NBA draft has one clear-cut best prospect. In 2023, it was Victor Wembanyama. In 2025, it's Cooper Flagg. But in between those 2 years, we had the 2024 NBA draft, considered by many the weakest draft class since 2013. Why? Because there was no obvious number one pick. Let's rewind for a second. In 2013, the Cavs selected Anthony Bennett first overall, and he was out of the league within just 3 years. But just because the top pick didn't pan out doesn't mean there wasn't talent. That same class gave us Giannis Antetokounmpo, a late lottery pick who went on to become one of the greatest players of his generation. And in 2024, we might be witnessing something very similar. No one is calling Zachary Risacher a bust, but there is a player from that same draft class, taken outside the top 10, who is starting to look like a future NBA superstar. And unlike Giannis, in 2013, this guy wasn't some mysterious talent from overseas. In fact, at one point, he was the projected number one pick. Yet on draft night, 10 teams passed on him, and they may already regret it. Let's talk about Matas Buzelis, the 6'10 forward who, in my opinion, is going to be the best player from the 2024 NBA draft. And if you stick with me till the end of this video, I think you'll agree. This was always meant to happen. Look out. What you hear? Boozy Bird is coming. He's not coming. He's here. Background, family roots. To understand Matas Buzelis, we have to go back to where it all started. Buzelis comes from serious basketball bloodlines. His father played pro ball in Lithuania's top league. His mother, one of the best talents of her generation, starring on Lithuania's national youth team. But that's not all. Matas's maternal grandfather was both a pro player and coach. And his paternal grandfather, Petras Buzelis, is a basketball legend in Lithuania, winning 6 championships as captain of Žalgiris, the nation's top club, and representing the national team throughout his career. Now, in 2025, Matas is carrying that legacy and taking it to a whole new level. But his journey didn't exactly follow a traditional path. After his family immigrated to the U.S. in the early 2000s, Matas was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. He carried his Lithuanian roots proudly, but his entire life and development happened in America. And ironically, basketball wasn't even his first love. I remember, like 6th grade, I wasn't even playing. I was on the bench. I didn't even like basketball. I was a swimmer. Yes, a swimmer. He attended gymnastics school with his siblings and competed in swim meets. In fact, he had the best breaststroke time in the entire state of Illinois for his age group. Looking back, it was all part of the process. Gymnastics gave him balance, flexibility, and core strength. Swimming gave him coordination and stamina. When he eventually pivoted to basketball, it all clicked. It was in his blood. A third-generation baller with elite athletic tools. And the results came fast. Buzelis became a standout quickly in high school, and his breakout moment came when he transferred to Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, a powerhouse known for producing NBA talent like Donovan Mitchell, T.J. Warren, and Devontae Graham. At Brewster, he played alongside the late Terrence Clark, a projected lottery pick who tragically passed away at age 19 in a car accident. Together, they were a dynamic duo. As a junior, Matas averaged 11.4 points, 5.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.3 blocks, and 1.2 steals per game, winning Gatorade Player of the Year and leading his team to a prep championship. By senior year, he leveled up. He averaged 15.7 points on 54% shooting from the field and 43% from 3, earning Gatorade honors again, this time in Kansas. And then came the matchup: Matas Buzelis versus Cooper Flagg and Montverde Academy. All eyes were on the two top prospects, and Buzelis? He shined. Corner threes, offensive rebounds, fast breaks, and the viral moment, swatting Cooper Flagg's shot off the backboard like LeBron in Game 7 of the 2016 Finals. Buzelis represented Team World in the Nike Hoop Summit, starred in the Jordan Brand Classic, and scored 15 points with 4 assists in the McDonald's All-American game. But what really blew him up? The McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest, with the world watching Bronny James. It was Matas, the 6'9" Lithuanian-American, who stole the show with his execution and athleticism. Coming out of high school, he was a consensus 5-star recruit. ESPN ranked him number 5 24/7 Sports, also number 5 Rivals, even higher, at number 4. He had offers from blue blood programs like Kentucky, UNC, Florida State, and Wake Forest. But shockingly, he turned them all down. Instead, he took a $1 million deal and joined G League Ignite. Why? He wanted to be a pro. He wanted to play NBA-style ball, work with NBA coaches, and face grown men. Heading into his season with Ignite, Buzelis was a projected top 3 pick, right alongside teammate Ron Holland. He started strong, showing flashes. In games against the Perth Wildcats, putting up 16 and 17 points in 2 games. Catch and shoot, Buzelis knocks it down. He finishes with the left, and 1. Get that out of here. But as the season progressed, something changed. Alex Sarr started rising on draft boards. Meanwhile, Ignite's problems became impossible to ignore. Despite having 2 lottery talents, Ignite went 2-34 and lost 32 straight games. That crushed the stock of both Holland and Buzelis. NBA GM started asking, if they can't lead a G League team to wins, how can they turn around an NBA franchise? It was an ugly situation, and it got worse. The NBA announced that the G League Ignite program would be shut down. The official reason? College NIL money made the program obsolete. But in truth, the program just wasn't working. Players like Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and Scoot Henderson didn't live up to the hype. Other top recruits like Isaiah Todd and Jaden Hardy fell to the second round. The Ignite experiment, once promising, was officially labeled a failure. And as Buzelis saw his draft stock tumble, Zachary Risasher rose to the top of the boards. Matas took that personally, and just before the draft, he did something few prospects do today. He called him out. Of course I want to see him in 1v1. He won't do it. His agent won't let him. It's a business decision. Fans loved it. It felt like old-school competitiveness. In an era where all the top players are friends, this was refreshing. I like that he wants to go mano a mano. Compete. May the best man win. Because that's what the pre-draft process should be about. And 10 teams passed on him. But trust me, they won't forget the name Matas Buzelis anytime soon, because he's coming. Scratch that. He's already here. One thing was clear. If you're going to take a guy in the top 5, especially a wing, you'd better see one thing. Can he create his own shot when the clock's winding down? That's a make-or-break quality, and Matas Buzelis knew it. And if you know anything about Buzelis, you know he lives for that moment. This isn't a player who hides from the spotlight. He once even challenged Cooper Flagg to a one-on-one during a workout with Chris Brickley, something almost no one dares to do. And we all remember how that battle went down. But by the time draft night arrived, the hype around Buzelis had cooled. He was no longer in the conversation for the number 1 pick. In fact, some projections had him slipping into the late lottery. As name after name was called, Buzelis kept sliding, until finally, one team rolled the dice. With the 11th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Matas Buzelis from Chicago and the NBA G League's Team Ignite. It was a homecoming. Chicago embraced him immediately. And Buzelis, in return, embraced the pressure of being the local kid with big shoes to fill. The city had seen legends, Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, and now they were daring to dream again. Some fans and analysts were already calling him the steal of the draft. But as history has shown us, dreams in the NBA aren't fulfilled overnight. His first real test came during Las Vegas Summer League, and Buzelis came out swinging. In his debut against the Golden State Warriors, he showed exactly why so many scouts were once drooling over his potential. His shot was smooth, his handle fluid, and his bounce? Unreal. He dropped 28 points, hitting 4 of 8 from 3, and shooting 10 for 22 from the field. It was a statement performance, but all eyes were on the upcoming showdown, Chicago versus Atlanta. Buzelis versus the number 1 pick, Zachary Risacher. The game was nationally televised, the hype through the roof. But in a twist of fate, or perhaps strategy, Risacher never suited up. Some fans believed it validated Buzelis' pre-draft claim that the top guy didn't want smoke. Over 5 Summer League games, Buzelis averaged 16.4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals per game. Impressive, but not enough to guarantee a spot in the Bulls' rotation. The front office decided he needed more development, assigning him to the Windy City Bulls. But Buzelis didn't come to the NBA to regress. He already did a year in the G League. He knew the grind. And in just 2 games, he made it clear he didn't belong there. First game, 24 points and 10 boards. Second game, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 blocks. The Bulls took notice and called him up. He was NBA ready. Still, the adjustment wasn't smooth. He didn't have a defined role. In high school, Buzelis ran the point at 6'10", one of the reasons he became a 5-star recruit. But now in the NBA, he was a positional enigma. Was he a 2, a 3, a 4? Bulls coach Billy Donovan opted for familiarity, favoring Patrick Williams in the rotation. Through the first 45 games of the season, Buzelis was 11th in minutes played, barely seeing the floor. Fans were frustrated. The team was struggling. Why not give the rookie a shot? Buzelis himself couldn't hide his own frustration. When asked about it by reporters, he didn't mince words. How am I going to get better if I'm not playing against the best guys? I believe in earning it, but I also believe in being ready. I just want to prove I belong. The media pressure mounted until Coach Donovan had to address it directly. He's got to earn those minutes. He's young. He's 19. He'll make mistakes, but I want him to make them being aggressive. He's learning how hard you have to play on every possession. Everything changed at the trade deadline. The Bulls moved off Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Suddenly, minutes were available. And Buzelis? He took full advantage. He became a starter on February 1st. His pre-starter stats? Just 5.3 points and 2.8 rebounds per game. But after entering the lineup, he posted 13.3 points, 4.4 rebounds, nearly 2 assists, and over 1 block a game. That's starter production, comparable even to Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle. Still, the numbers only tell part of the story. If you watched the Bulls take on the new-look Lakers at Crypto.com Arena, you saw it for yourself. Buzelis has it. He lit up the court for 31 points on 12 of 18 shooting, including 5 threes, and led his team to a win. But what stood out even more was what he said afterward. I want to be one of the greatest. That's my goal. I believe it. Not many 20-year-olds would say that out loud. Fewer still actually mean it. And then came Dallas. Against the Mavericks, Buzelis dropped 28 points, hitting 5 of 7 from deep. 9 boards, 6 assists, 1 block. It was the most complete game of his young career, and it wasn't a fluke. He kept building. The Bulls closed the season strong, going 18-15 down the stretch, and snuck into the play-in tournament as the ninth seed. They didn't go far, falling to the Heat, but something had changed. For the first time in years, Bulls fans had hope, and that hope had a name: Matas Buzelis.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more exciting content, stay tuned for upcoming videos and don't miss out on the latest updates. Hit that subscribe button and join the community for more videos. Thanks for watching.